Welcome to the Video Quin Key, page 1. That's the complete instructions to Quin, part 1. For those who just bought the game and want to know how to play. Just under that lid, you'll find the Quick Start card. Give it a once over, make sure you got everything in the box. The Quin Key rule cards have everything you need to know to play the game. Read them front and back, don't worry about memorizing it right away. The strategy guide is going to give you a deep dive into everything Quin. 17 pieces belong to each side. Line these up on your zero gravity cards, keep them by the side of the board. You get to decide the 10 pieces you start the game with. Put these on your 10 starting points as seen here. The other 7 are going to stay on your 0G card. That will include all of your artificial light and 3 other reinforcements of your choice. The 4 extra faceplates are out of play after choosing your clone. Learn more about clones on page 2. Bring your own totem when you come to play Quin. This can be any object, big or small, statue, toy, prism, lucky coin, pocket watch. Set it by the side of the board. We'll come back to its function in a little bit. Grab a couple glasses of water. You got a couple coasters in the box. Drink that water. Whoever finishes first goes first. That's the traditional way to decide turn order. In Quin, the mission is to take first sight, center, with your light, or take your opponent's light. Those are the 2 ways to win. The iris is these 2 spaces surrounding the center space, first sight. Beyond the iris, the Quin field is composed of rings and lines. Ring 1, ring 2, there are 8 rings in all. That line across the middle, that's the horizon. The 5 other lines are sight lines. They cross the board at 5 different angles, each time skipping the iris but continuing on to the other side. In fact, let's discuss how all that works right now. The 2 iris spaces connect to each other. First sight, on the other hand, can only be reached by light. Here we have a shadow crossing the iris. Shadows can move 7 spaces, each time simply not counting that iris space. From each of the 3 sightlines that reach ring 1, you pass through the iris onto a sightline on the other side. Each time you choose what direction to take on exit. Enter from one sightline, leave on another. Each iris space connects to all 3 sightlines on the same side of the board and to the other iris space. The horizon line does not connect to the iris or to first sight. And now you know most of the board. You can't jump another piece when you move in Quin. You move in straight lines, forward or backward on sight lines, or sideways on rings. This peripheral can move up to 3 spaces. Depending on your edition of the game, either the individual spaces or the entire board may be magnetically active. In any case, make sure that your piece is situated each time you set it down. You can't change direction in the course of a move. Only go in straight lines along rings or sight lines. You also can't go directly to the horizon with most any piece. Only the peripheral can go directly to the horizon from a sightline. It's also the only piece that can change direction during a move, which is covered in depth on page 2. But for the peripheral, the horizon is just another space. It's the only piece, again, that can move directly to the horizon from a sightline. We'll cover other ways to get there soon enough. Now players alternate moves. Each of the 9 types of pieces in Quin has its own movement, powers, and capture abilities to master. You'll find these in detail on page 2 of the Quin Key and part 2 of this video. Well, what constitutes a capture, you might ask? And that's a good question because it's more nuanced in Quin than in, say, a game like chess. Here, when 2 pieces collide in the same space, we call it a flash, and a few different things could happen. In any case, we reveal both pieces, a peripheral and a shadow. A peripheral captures a shadow. The captured piece leaves the board, the aggressor takes the space. Any piece that flashes its own type mutually annihilates and both are removed, except for lighter shadows. Here, a peripheral flashes a reflector, for which it doesn't capture, so the 2 would switch places on the board, with the defender going to the space where the attacker originated in that turn. The defending piece's capture rule is not engaged. Only the aggressive piece can capture. Here we see two shadows flashing, and they swap places. All captured or otherwise removed pieces go to the opposing player's zero gravity card. On your turn, turn your totem to resurrect any piece that has been captured by your opponent and place it on their open gateway. That doesn't end your turn. You can use another piece, like here we see time being used, or you can even attack with the piece you just resurrected. You can't resurrect a piece that was just taken on the very last turn, and you can only resurrect once per game, and then only if your opponent has an open gateway. Keep all 5 of your gateways closed to block your opponent's resurrection. On your turn, you can choose to bring in a reinforcement, anything from your zero gravity card, onto your open gateway. 1 reinforcement does end your turn, except in the case of artificial light, which can come on in larger numbers, which we will discuss on page 2. Page 2 is all about the pieces. We'll cover how they move, what their powers are, and what they can or cannot capture in a flash in detail. You'll learn about void gravity, memory swaps, the power of time, and reflectors. We'll cover learning mode, which is an easier way to play as you learn about the game. So in recap, we hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something about the lay of the Quin field and how the pieces move within it. This video is not pretending to be all-inclusive, so make sure you do read your Quin keys. But I hope you found it informative and entertaining. Thanks for coming with us. Hit us at quinthegame.com, #WeAreQuin. I'm looking forward to talking through the next video. See you there.